Hi everybody, this is Dario. Welcome to my channel Motley Reads. So it is Wednesday evening and I'm doing a tag today. It's not Tuesday and all, but it's one day too late, but it's never wrong day for a tag, right? This strange scenery here is my hotel room. I'm currently in Zurich, in Switzerland. Working, so I'm here quite often, as many of you who follow my channel probably have noticed. So I was a bit bored, so I thought, okay, let's do a tag. I was watching for a couple of tags, and then I saw this one. It's a nostalgia book tag. It is originated by Noah at the channel Everybody Who Reads the Must Converse, and I saw it on Jack's channel, Jack of Rambling Raconteur, and Noah originated this tag. Usually follow Noah's channel. I should have seen it when it came up a couple of months ago, but I was completely off BookTube for a couple of months, so I missed this one. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it. So Switzerland right now, it is my Corona situation as it is everywhere. Tomorrow morning I'm flying back home. I bought some chocolate for myself and my family. Typical Swiss stuff, like these dark chocolate with salt and vanilla bourbon. And these are my favorites here. It's like filled with nougat. It's very very sweet, and these I love as well, with whole hazelnuts. Really cool. I'm really looking forward to eat this. So, but I need to refrain myself from opening them, because I said it's only during weekends I can take this. I really love this. So looking forward to weekend. Hence, no, it was just a short detour. I just saw the chocolates here, so I thought I should share my passion or addiction, however you want, with you. So the tag itself, it has 10 prompts. I have no books here, unfortunately, to show. I really hate doing tags where I don't have books to show. I have only my other reading that hasn't to do with the tag, but still, I can talk. So prompt number one, and I interpreted all these prompts around everybody should be in a kind of a nostalgic setting. So it's no new things, nothing from now. Everything is from back in time, right? So first, oldest book from your life you still own. Now, as some of you might know, it's I'm born and raised in Bosnia. I live in Sweden currently. So I came to Sweden when I was 18 years old as a refugee back in 1992 during the war in Bosnia. So basically we had nothing. We came as refugees with just what clothes we had. We had on ourselves and a small bag with the belongings. So no books followed. So I have nothing from that time. And then when I came to refugee camp, there was not really much reading. There was nothing to read. There was a library there. I couldn't speak Swedish. I came to Sweden. I couldn't speak English neither. We didn't learn English in school, so I couldn't read English literature, and there was nothing really to read. So I was pretty frustrated. So I found in this, it was in the reception in this government agency for refugees. They had some magazines from former Yugoslavia. So I found the address to Bosnian Institute in Switzerland, and I wrote them a letter, asked them, could you please send me a book to read? Because there are no books here that I can read. Can you send me something? And then they sent me a book in German. and I don't speak German either. And they sent me some pamphlets, some propaganda pamphlets and stuff like that. But and this book. And this book is, the German name of the book is Chazim Chatic und seine Zeit. And in German it means Chazim Chatic and his time. And Chazim Chatic his full name is Musa Chazim Chatic. He was a Bosnian mysticist and poet. So you could see in the book some of his poetry in original language, where it is German. So obviously I didn't read the book. I still own the book. kind of affectionate value from that time. And then, you know, it is 6 months later or something like that, the local library, they took in, you know, literature in Serbo-Croatian, and then I, you know, started reading, and I also tried to struggle, although I didn't speak English, I borrowed the books in English and tried to, you know, I need to understand something that is in there. I really had a kind of, you know, craving for reading. But, you know, this is the book I own. And then if I think about, you know, then after that, the oldest book, actually the first book I bought after that for my own money, and that I still my own money, who's else, and that I still own, is actually Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. When I was young, I really loved science and history of sciences specifically, and also very much about, you know, mysteries of universe. I want to understand, you know, what is out there in cosmos and so on. And this, I heard about this book of Stephen Hawking. I never saw it in former Yugoslavia. But I heard about it, so I bought this book in Swedish. I learned Swedish quite fast, and I read it in Swedish, Brief History of Time. I still have it at home. So that's when I think about it, when I see it in my bookshelf, I always get, you know, this warm feeling. You know, my first book bought with my own money, right? So prompt number 2, first love library book. Now here I'm not really sure if I remember right, you know, which is the first love library book. I will not take children books in here. I remember a couple of them, but, you know, I will take only, you know, adult literature into this. You know, if I don't know how adult is this that I'm gonna say, but it's still, you know, it's not children's books. I think of 2, and I don't remember which one was first. So I loved Treasure Island. By Robert Louis Stevenson. That was you know, I had a period, you know, reading lots of, you know, the pirates and seafaring, both, you know, novels and non-fiction, you know, about the Cook and Magellan and all that. You know, I was so fascinated by that. But Treasure Island, it was a fantastic book. I really loved it. I picked it up during October. Now I wanted to reread it, but I didn't have time to reread it this time. But it's gonna come. Another book that I remember, I was really obsessed by. It's actually a book series that I borrowed from library. Is books by the German novelist Karl May about Indian chief Winnetou. The name of the first book is Winnetou, and then the series of books came. It also came as a movie, and this is, you know, written by this German author about this Indian chief, and he is a white companion, Old Shatterhand. I really love these books, and so this is my answer to prompt number 2. Prompt number 3. A book given to you. Yeah, there are lots of books given to me. If I to look, you know, back in time, like, I don't know, 20 maybe years or 25 years, about 20 to 25 years sometime, I think it's then. One book that I have really warm feelings about is a book I got from my mother-in-law. It's a biography of Albert Einstein. Name of the book is Einstein. Is written by Walter Isaacson, and that's lots of warm feelings about that book. It's, you know, a thick volume. I just, you know, read it very quickly, just in a couple of days. And as I said previously, I love, you know, history of science, and that was really, and he was very fascinating character. I've been fascinated by him with my whole life. So that's nostalgia that was given to me that I'm still carrying in me. Yeah. Then a book recommended to you. So again, back nostalgia. Nostalgia book recommended to me a long time ago that I read and remember, and I want to go back to, is Secret History by Donna Tartt. It was recommended to me by my wife. Who else? She's my literary guide, a literary muse, and she recommended this one. She read it in Finnish. She got this book from her. I think that she got this book from her aunt, and she read it in Finnish. Said, "Oh, you must read this," and then I borrowed it at library, read it, and loved it. Really loved it. And now, you know, we recommended this book to our daughter, she's 15 years old, and we recommend this book, and she just read it, and she was. And she loved it, and now she's recommending it to her friends. So they're having, you know, discussion club about Secret History. And so that's it's a nostalgia, and I'm reliving it right now. A book you read with someone, and here I'm thinking again, you know, long back in time. I didn't do so many buddy reads through my life. I'm doing lots of buddy reads at early age. I'm doing a lot of buddy reads now with my wife. And now this last, you know, recently with my wife. But you know, as a kid, I read some books with my cousin. And one book that we buddy read that I really loved was Betty Zane by Zane Grey, American author Zane Grey, and I didn't think very often I remember, you know, this book. I read it. It is about, I think it's end of the Revolutionary War and the struggle between the Americans and British, and I really loved it. And this the whole Zane Grey thing, I didn't think about Zane Grey for many years until I just recently saw on the Richardson Reads. Mark Richardson channel. He found that in the thrift store Zane Grey, some Zane Grey book. It was some collection of stories, and I was just, oh my God, Zane Grey! I just forget about all that. So I got online and bought a couple of Zane Grey books in the online thrift shop. So I have them at home now. They're in the queue for reading. But you know, Betty Zane is the answer for this prompt. Number 6, a book introduced to you in school. This is back in high school. One book that I often come to and think about, and I reread it recently. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy was I remember it with warm feelings from my high school years. I remember the book was yellow. And I remember I was lying in a sofa in a living room and reading this yellow book that was very thick and you know, you are a teenager. I was a teenager. I was like 16 years old, and most of the things that you get from school, that I got from school, I thought was, you know, boring, and I wanted to go out with friends. But this book really captivated me. It was very good. And then I reread it recently, and that was a completely different book than the one I remember, but I loved it again in a completely different way. So that's that's Anna Karenina. From number 7, genre fiction that inspires nostalgia. And to me, it would be then science fiction as a genre, and the specific book is A Foundation by Isaac Asimov. Yeah, so this is a nostalgic read to me. I recently reread the trilogy of Foundation, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as I remember it. And I still look back with the nostalgia back to my readings when I was in my early 20s of Foundation trilogy, and it still inspires nostalgia in me. Foundation trilogy. Number 8, a literary work that inspires nostalgia. Now, literary work, the first I thought about 2 books basically. the first that popped up in my head is not the one that I have strongest feelings about, but this is popped in my head. I will tell you about it. It's Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. And yeah, I'm sure many of you have read it, and those of you who didn't, many of you probably have seen the movie with Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson starring in the movie, and it's about this English butler at the that is working in this estate just before World War II, and it's his reflections on his life, and it's about the decline of a British Empire and that culture of that time, and also it's feelings within British aristocracy, some parts of British aristocracy towards Germans and Nazis just before World War II, and like lots of different themes that you see throughout this book. And it is I read it 1995. Sorry, 1998. I read it. I was in Greece, in island of Santorini, with my wife, and it was her book. She read it and she gave it to me, and I read it. And I really loved it. So it inspires nostalgia of that time. Then another book that is inspiring even more nostalgia, and it is very much a book that is connected with my continuous and ongoing love affair with Sweden. I really love Sweden as a country. Is a fantastic place. I love Sweden as a country. I love the culture. I love the people, and it is really best place on earth. And one literary work that was really one of the first meetings with the Swedish culture, where I kind of when I kind of understood that I understood something, is a book called The Red Room, and it's written by August Strindberg. August Strindberg is one of the giants of Swedish literature, and it is he's a star of a Swedish literary canon. And this book, Red Room, is about this young idealist Arvid Falk, and his band of brothers, and their struggles through life with the struggles between on one side being idealist, and on the other side living in the material world, and how these things can't get together. And at the same time, it's description of Stockholm of that time. The book is written end of 1800, so he's Swedish naturalist writing style, and it's really a good book, and I often take it out from my bookshelf and just open it, smell it, and just to get back to that time. So Red Room by August Strindberg. Prompt number 9, a spiritual work that inspires nostalgia. And here I'm not big on spiritual work, and not big, not at all. I'm not reading spiritual work at all. I read my first really spiritual book ever this spring during maybe Midrash readathon, when I read Falling Upwards by Father Richard Rohr. I read parts of Bible. And that's it, basically, on spiritual work. Unfortunately, I'm a bit ashamed to admit that, but we should be honest, right? The closest thing to spiritual work is coming actually from a it's a kind of a literary fiction work. It is written by Bosnian author Meša Selimović, and the name of the book is The Death and the Dervish. And The Death and the Dervish is kind of, you know, psychological drama with lots of, you know, philosophical elements, reflections on the society, critique of a society, and reflection on life, really. And it's a book about. It is set in 19th century Bosnia during Ottoman rule, and it's about this dervish that is living in an Islamic monastery. His name is Sheikh Nuruddin, and his brother got arrested by Ottoman authorities, and he's trying to understand what happened to his brother in this, you know, kind of Kafka-like, you know, environment, not really, you know, getting into anywhere, and all that time, you know, he's reflecting on the society, on the life, on religion. He's becoming more and more cynical, and as he's becoming more and more cynical, he's getting, you know, assaulted, you know, by authorities, by the people, and he's getting, you know, further down. And it's dark, but it is very explorative novel, very spiritual in its nature, I would say. Depends how you interpret this spirituality. And you know, the book is one of Meša Selimović is one of the biggest characters of former Yugoslavian literature. You know, next to Ivo Andrić and Miroslav Krleža is the biggest guy. And the Dervish, Death and the Dervish is his major work. It is, they say, inspired by a real event in his life, because, you know, he lived during the communist Yugoslavia. He was war hero, Meša Selimović, and his brother was also, you know, communist functionary, and his brother was arrested by the regime and after a while, you know, killed by the regime. And they say that, you know, this novel is also Selimovic's criticism against the communist regime. Yeah, so that's the closest spiritual work I'm thinking of. I can come to Death and the Dervish by Meša Selimović. So these are 9 prompts. The 10th prompt is tag people, and since I'm, you know, quite late with this one, I really don't know who did it, who didn't. Of course, you know, everybody should be encouraged to do these prompts. They are lots of fun and they make you think, and this one is particularly good by my man Noah. Thank you, Noah, for making this tag, and for all of you guys that made it this far in the video, thank you, and I hope you got some inspiration. So see you.